Clock on the dot. I'm West 2 First Warning Meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk, where we get together 7 days a week to chat about what's going on in the world of weather. Yeah, I'm tired. Doing the night shows last night and waking up early this morning to get the kids out, but we're going to do this darn thing together today, and we are, at least in this house, we are living off of coffee. Okay. We're going to make it. All right. Outside we go. Tower Cam Network showing, believe it or not, quite a few things. Just from this perspective, the camera bouncing around, still gusty. This is Melbourne in Brevard County. Still gusty. You've got the clouds. We're watching downpours, and we're even still watching some of that darn smoke coming from those Canadian wildfires. Yeah, I actually had somebody, interestingly enough, mention on social media. They're like, well, what about the sugarcane fields down in South Florida? And it all has to do with the direction of the winds. The winds are coming from the northeast, not the south. If it was the south, we could be talking about this fire or this smoke coming from those fires, but it's not the case. This is, and I'll show it to you visually, this is the case. My eyes, a mess. Between the allergens and the irritants, I'm a complete mess. But here we go. We're doing our thing. All right, let's take a look at some of those showers. First warning, live Doppler radar. And we'll zoom in here to Brevard County, where there have been these waves of rain. As a matter of fact, Melbourne, that tower cam there, looking dark, and we're tracking more showers kind of sneaking in. Melbourne Beach, it's pouring here shortly. I'll have you notice, as I put this into the live radar mode, that downpour there in Melbourne Beach, that's a good little downpour. We look at the wind velocity, and we're not seeing much. It's not strong or severe, nothing like that. A 10, 15 mile per hour wind. That's it. So a nice little wave of downpour action there. Up to the north just a little bit, some nice heavy rain just north of the Bonita Causeway here. From about Merritt Island back over towards South Cocoa Beach, there's Cocoa Beach, a little drier. Some showers, though, continuing to stream in off the ocean. There you go, looking at it all. For now, the metro is nice and quiet, and even our northern areas are nice and quiet, though do have a couple sprinkles showing up here in Flagler County. So it's not a bad morning at all. Just have a little bit of rain to deal with. 73 degrees our current temperature in the city. It's 70 degrees in Leesburg, 77 Daytona Beach, 79 in New Smyrna Beach. Warmer because of that breeze. And as I had mentioned to you, the winds are coming in off the ocean. Here's a look at that direction. That's why the beaches are a little warmer, and that's why we're bringing these showers in. But you can very clearly see the direction of the winds. Yeah, that smoke is not coming from South Florida. It's coming all the way up from Canada. So let me show you kind of the visualization of that. I see Chris Pierce posting air quality's at 73 today, down from 113 yesterday. Yeah, so here's a live look at the air quality index across Central Florida. It's a moderate concern. Yesterday, we were running all the way in the poor air quality, which is something we very rarely see in Central Florida. And as a matter of fact, if we kind of widen the perspective out, you can see the Panhandle is actually doing a little worse than we are right now. So there's that. So what's the deal? What's the deal with this smoke? So high pressure out near the Great Lakes is grabbing this smoke in the atmosphere, grabbing this parcel of air from Quebec and transporting it all the way down to us. So let's take a look at Futurecast's smoke product, okay? There you go. Through this afternoon, continuing to thin out. Now, there may be a little wave of smoke comes through like 7:30, 8 o'clock. But notice, all in all, overnight tonight into tomorrow, things are thinning out. And by Friday early morning, we're actually clearing this out. So things do look better and better and better across Central Florida, that's great news. I mean, seriously, that's great news. When we look at the current kind of air quality forecast for tomorrow, the biggest concerns are going to kind of be in the Panhandle again. So yeah, Jenna says you sound better this morning. I'm suffering too. I just took a Sudafed decongestant, so hopefully I'll make this. Hopefully I'll make it okay. At any rate, though, so the air quality is still a concern for us. Other than that, we are going to have those passing showers today. A 20-30% coverage of rainfall. Kind of the same idea that we saw yesterday we're going to see through today. Those beach showers coming in. Sometimes they'll stumble in a little further inland, but there's that wind running 15 to 20 miles an hour. Yeah, it's definitely a thing. Definitely a thing. 84 to 86 our high temperature today. So if we look around Central Florida, this is what we've got for you, okay? 86 in Orlando, 87 in Leesburg today, 88 in Wildwood. Those temperatures are warming up just a little bit. All right? Next couple of days, though, we're going to continue to see that trend. Let me share it with you here. All right. High temperatures today, mid-80s, getting warmer Thursday, warmer Friday, warmer Saturday. That's the wrong direction, isn't it? It is. But that's not like a permanent thing. We actually have a little something. Let's take a look at the surface map, my friends. A few showers for us today. Not too bad. Take a look. Getting warmer, nice and drier, continuing to look good, but I spy with my little eye a cold front. And while it's approaching us Saturday, look at this weekend forecast. 89 on Saturday, and what? What? Guys, gals, people of Earth, fall is falling? Yes, I do believe it is. Sunday's high temperature. Let me just put this together here. Sunday's high temperature, 82 in Orlando, 79 in Leesburg, 78 in Ocala. Monday, y'all ready for this? Look at these temperatures. Now, I'll show you the raw GFS in a minute. You have to understand that can tweak a bit. But 65 in Orlando, 60 in Leesburg, 57 in Palm Coast, 50 in Ocala. What is happening here? Oh, that's right. Fall is actually falling in Central Florida. Frank says now that calls for 2 thumbs up. I turned it off. I found out how to turn that off. So we shouldn't have fireworks and all kinds of other goofy effects anymore. Diane says, "Oh, be still my heart." I know, Diane. I know. Yes. Isn't that great? I mean, it's not like big chill, but like that's something. And then Monday afternoon, that's still pretty good. Yeah. Tuesday morning, by the way. Still pretty good. Tuesday afternoon. Still pretty good. So we are going to, at least for now, the models are indicating that we are going to be opening up this door and letting whatever cold front wants to come in. Now let's look at the raw GFS. This is where we get to have some comedy here. Remember, computer models are guidance, not gospel. But a couple things to note here is that, first off, it's even trying to go with like upper 70s for highs on Sunday. This is Orlando's temperatures, but there you go. A couple of mornings of 60s. It usually doesn't last that long, but we'll see. Then we warm up, and then another front, and then we warm up. And in an I will say this, in an El Nino pattern, we do typically welcome fall a little more. We typically welcome winter a little more, but we also typically welcome some stronger thunderstorms in the winter months, especially in the spring months. So those are things we're going to be tracking. Speaking of tracking, I plan on very much starting my spreadsheet. Today's the day that I'm going to be working on my LRC spreadsheet because we're now in that time. So there you go. There you go. Wow, I don't know how to act, Catherine says. It's been months since we saw these temps. I know. Let's check in on the European, just to check. The European, typically, I don't love the temperature world very much. It's not that out to sea, though. You know, it's a little over the place. But that actually looks to be kind of decent. So, yeah. Very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. I like what I see there. I like what I see. After Friday, do you think the 90s are done for the year? You know, we usually get these like little tastes. We usually get these little tastes of fall, and then like we'll get a warm stretch again, you know, and then get a taste of fall. Like for example, you can see Thursday, October 12th, 87. Friday, October 13th, 86. So is it possible that we get a few more 90s? Yeah. We'll see. Mike's asking, can you tweak this and bring the cooler highs to the weekend? I mean, if I had any tweak ability, believe me, I would. I don't have it. I'm sorry. We do the best we can, though. All right. So with that said, then, we've looked at the temperatures. What's the actual 7-day forecast saying? All right. So here we are. Central Florida's certified most accurate 7-day forecast. And this morning, we're going with those showers today. Highs getting warmer, though, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then there's that outbreak of fall air. 80s, lower 80s for highs. Could see some upper 70s for highs, and morning lows in the 60s. I love that. Jennifer says, definitely need to go buy some pants that fit. Yeah. Cindy says, October can be awful humid and gross. I remember not being able to wear certain costumes to stay away from the heat exhaustion. I know. What's interesting is if you look at the long range forecasting, and we'll do that, Halloween could be interesting. Chris says Crocs with socks. I know. All right. Any other questions before we move on to the tropics? Anything at all? Anything? Bueller? Pat says, good morning. All late to class. I'll take the detention. Yeah. I'll see you in my classroom Saturday morning. We've got some chalkboards to clean. Kids today won't even know what a chalkboard is. Brian says, today's my daughter Paige's 13th birthday. She watches with me all the time. Happy birthday, Paige. Oh, boy. Entering into those teenage years, always stay respectful and humble. Always. Headed to Alabama this week. Low in the 40s up there. Yowza. I'm actually surprised hall monitor Debbie's been lax in handing out detentions. There you go. All right, so there's that. To the tropics we go, and happy to report for now. The only thing that we're watching is Tropical Storm Philippe. Still kicking. I mean, it's an unorganized bugger. Let me tell you, like, in the entire basin, Philippe's looking like a mess. What you doing out there? This storm will single-handedly impact the Hurricane Center's accuracy forecast because of some of that Fujiwara stuff. They've really struggled with this. At first, it was going to do this and then that, and it was going to be a hurricane, and now it's not. And yeah. The one thing that's interesting here is that its remnants may move up into Canada and could actually help with some of these darn wildfires. Anne-Marie, you sound a little better today. I mean, I feel like I'm still on the struggle bus, but I'm doing my darndest. So that's Philippe. That's the only thing that we're really watching for now. Philippe said he's not going anywhere. Yeah, I know, right? Everything else is being sheared like there's a bunch of Saharan dust out in the open Atlantic, so not really looking for any development there. Even with the monsoonal flow, remember this time of year for the month of October, we really shut off that main development region out in the open Atlantic. We really do start to watch areas closer to home, the Caribbean, the Gulf of Mexico, along old fronts. And case in point, okay, let's just illustrate for you. Again, looking at late this weekend, what do we start to track but a front? Now, I don't think that anything's going to get going on this one. But after that, we may have to start watching. Ronald Scott, flu season, my friend. I don't have the flu. If there's one thing that I've learned, it's that when my eyes start crying as if you broke my heart constantly, it's an allergy thing. And oh my God, I am dying. So, old fronts, they come to Florida to die, and what can sometimes happen is you can sometimes get little pockets of moisture to bubble up and then ride along the front. And that's what some of the models are trying to indicate. You see, the Pacific is pretty busy. And while nothing's out there developing in the Atlantic or the Caribbean or the Gulf, late next week, and we've talked about this for a while, but late next week, mid-month, but late next week, we're going to start to watch the Bay of Campeche and the Gulf of Mexico. Some models are starting to indicate a little bit of turmoil down there. So let's look at said models. All right, we'll begin with the GFS, and we're just going to look raw, and then we'll look at some of the other kind of little pieces of data there. So there's Philippe, lifting to the north, doing its thing. Here's the 9th, the 10th, some moisture. There's mid-month. Old front, little piece of energy crossing over. That's the current run of the GFS. If I were to go back one run, kind of trying to figure out some moisture, right? If I go back 2 runs, it's got the moisture, but it's much further north. It's not picking up anything from the Gulf. I go back 3 runs, there's a little something in the Gulf. So from the Bay of Campeche, into the Gulf of Mexico. That's the GFS. Nothing strong. I mean, that's a 996 low. It's a decent low, but it's like nothing, major hurricane kind of thing. But there's some indication of something there. All right. And then after that, kind of looks like high pressure forms. All right. Let's go over to the European. There's Philippe. The 12th, the 13th, we're starting to see pressures lowering in the Gulf there. And it's not really going all that deep or anything, but there's definitely lowering pressures along that front. Mid-month, and then there's another front there. Canadian model. There's Philippe. Pressure's lowering and kind of riding up. Yeah. This is going to be the new LRC cycle. So this is going to be an indicator. Where does it develop? Where does it want to go? These are going to be interesting little pieces there. If we look at the ensembles, look at the ensemble members coming alive with something. They're not really sure what's happening, but they're trying to bubble up something. Yep. Let's come back here. And let's switch. That's the GFS. Let's switch over to the European ensembles. Yeah, they're trying to throw, not all of the members, but some of the members are trying to throw something together. Mid-month. Canadian ensembles. Oh, did I hit? Oh, do the Canadian ensembles not have? There it is. I hit the wrong button. That's on me. So Canadian ensembles also. So there's nothing written in stone yet, but, we call ourselves First Warning Weather, and there's that. So late next week, we're going to be watching this little corridor. And that actually tracks, because one of the things that we use to look long range this time of year is going to be the BSR. We've got multiple techniques that we use to track long-range forecasts, right? But one of the things that we use is the Bering Sea rule, the Bering Strait rule. And essentially, the idea is it's a teleconnection. If you can see, I'm flashing the United States map off. At the very top, though, that's the Bering Strait. And this is a teleconnection that we use to kind of give us like a 2.5 week notice. All right, and so just kind of tracking through, Cold front, like a decent little storm system here. And that translates to... That's the 15th. So it's kind of got a little something. A little something around the 15th in the Gulf Coast. But then what's interesting is it's got another little something kind of working toward Florida around the 18th. Will it be two individual systems? I don't know, but the BSR is showing that, and then look at how it's kind of doing something off the coastline there of the Outer Banks. Like, I don't even know what's going on there. That would open up the door, though, for some cooler temperatures for us, kind of like mid-month, you know. And then beyond that, what I've started doing is I've started using the BSR teleconnection technique and then throwing the GFS in, which just is way out there. But at least it gives us kind of a clue as to what's ahead. Nice little fronts, little storm systems, little hit of cooler air. Another opportunity for some cooler air, decent little front. Like that's, hold on. That's the 29th of October, a nice little cold front moving through. So just before Halloween, could we be talking about a real decent cool down? I would love that. Then you got this little thing. Like a front, some Gulf moisture. That'll be interesting. That is Halloween. We've been talking for a while, at least a couple of days. We've been talking for a couple of days. Janet says the BSR has been very consistent for that 10-15. It has. And I'm starting to see some consistency here for like the very end. Like that's Halloween, showing some sort of an area of low pressure coming in from the Gulf as well around Halloween. And then a big like front afterward. We're starting to see an interesting correlation there as well. So could we be talking about kind of something of a storm system mid-month and then another storm system / cool front the end of the month? It's kind of looking that way. And then there's a monster front right there. Yeah. But that's interesting. I remember a couple of days ago, Chris Pierce was like, we're going to need to start seeing some consistency on this like October 30th type thing. But the models are starting to show something. So, yeah, I would say around Halloween, there could be a little storm system kind of working in. All right. So, suffice it to say, we are not done yet with hurricane season. All right. Faith, is that a tropical storm or just rain? I don't know yet. What I do know is that it's something. So we'll have to watch it. Thank you. Thank you. Bruce says I'm getting seasick watching the rocking. All right, I'll stop. Sorry, buddy. All right, any other questions, comments, concerns, anything? Anybody got anything at all? If the BSR is right, I suspect Florida Gulf Coast for a hotspot next year. Well, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Remember, we don't put our hurricane forecast out until March 1st. So the idea is you watch it recycle several times. Yeah. But yes, to answer your question, Taylor, does that play into the 2024 season pattern? It would, should it play out that way. But we don't forecast for the hurricane season based on the BSR. We use the BSR to kind of give us an idea, and then we have to actually watch what actually happens. That's how we put the forecast together. So, yeah. All right. 7-day forecast back here at home. Tracking some rains this morning. Some rains through the day today. 30% coverage. Pretty much on again and off again all day over at the beaches. And then drying out, warming up Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then, yeah, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, people. Like, OMG. What you do? Hold on. Wrong. OMG, OMG, OMG. What is happening there? Oh my gosh. All right. Linda says, a week or so ago, we were told to write down to watch the 15th and the 30th as potential weather items. We're still going with that. Let's see how it plays out. All right. Hey, we call ourselves first warning weather for a reason, and I'll tell you, you're not getting this kind of first warning from anywhere else. Is it going to be perfect all the time? No, but neither is our 7-day forecast. And it's most accurate. Weather forecasting ain't easy, but we're going to use every tool in the tool chest to help you. That I can promise you. All right? All right. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I'll see y'all at 3:30. Bye.